For more on the shift towards consumers, we go straight to Denver Live, where we find Alan Barber. He is the president of Denver-Hainan Corporation, I should say. Alan, good to see you back on the show again. Let me ask you this. We were just talking about the shopping in China. It gets to a bigger picture, but let me start by asking you, how big of a day, how important is it to shopping overall is November 11th?
It's very important, and as China moves towards a more of a consumer economy, these events are going to be like this are going to be even more important.
When you talk about the greater economy, it's been a major push over the last 5 to 10 years for China to what we call to basically spur domestic consumption, translation, build less things and buy more things. It kind of looks like the USA a little bit. Is it working for the government to try to convince their citizens to basically spend more money?
Well, my experience, it seems like the citizens are spending more money and they don't have to be convinced a whole lot. I mean, you look at the statistics, Mercedes-Benz is, well, China's Mercedes-Benz biggest market. You have growth in autos. I remember when I was in China in 1992, you had a very narrow selection of automobiles. When I was there in September, I think every automobile on the planet was in Shanghai and Beijing. So there is this move to purchase more things.
It wasn't that long ago, Alan, I'm sure you remember these days, where everybody wanted to sell stuff to Americans. And more recently, it's the opposite. Everywhere around the world, these companies, they want to sell to basically the middle working class in China, from Home Depot to Best Buy, although they haven't done that well. But there are some success stories. What makes one company successful and one fail when you talk about multinational firms going into China?
One story I remember from a few years ago compared Walmart to Carrefour. And Walmart, their orders or their stock was determined by a central group, where Carrefour, their store managers, could order products more in line with their community in which they were located. So Carrefour was providing better products for their community. So there needs to be that flexibility since the multinationals do not have a good understanding yet of the Chinese consumer.
Well, I mean, I'll give you one example. Home Depot went into China, and there's a couple places as well, thinking that the Chinese are going to basically fix up their homes as a lot of people would have done here in the United States. The property market has been on fire, but it didn't work out quite that well. What makes Chinese consumers different than consumers from around the world?
I think the Chinese consumer is more, shall I use the word picky? They won't just buy anything. They want to make sure that whatever they buy is high quality. We go back to our old discussion with Shanghai acquiring Smithfield Food. Part of that is the Chinese consumer wants a higher quality product than they've been given in the past. So they really look at quality and they look a lot at price. If the price is not to their liking, they will not buy. So you have quality, you have price, you have a lot of issues. And it reminds me of a book I read a number of years ago about Borderless World by Omai, who commented, everything's done locally. You can't control things centrally. And I believe that a lot of the multinationals try to control things centrally rather than really look at the local communities in which they're located.
I mean, this is, Alan, one of the most fascinating topics that we take on here on Biz Asia America. I suppose if you can figure out what the Chinese want to buy, you probably will become the next billionaire. But when we talk about spending money, we talk about inflation, but inflation also means that people are making more money in China. The middle class is getting wealthier. The working class is getting wealthier. What are the top 2 or 3 items that they go out and buy?
They buy, one thing they buy is tourism. They like to travel abroad. And you look at the tourism numbers, they've accelerated dramatically during this time period. They like to buy a car. I know a young lady, and I know that President Xi's in Hunan now. She has a car. Her parents bought it for her, so shoe could be around more convenience. High quality foods, clothing. Some Chinese like to buy their homes, others prefer not to because they don't want to be a slave to the home.
Alan Barber, I'm afraid we're out of time. Thank you very much, President of the Denver-Hainan Corporation, joining us from Denver. Thank you very much, sir.